Eva? Eva, are we going to show people how to pot on lavender permanently in pots? Shall we? Yeah, I think we should. Okay, so hello everyone. This is what am I saying? This is one I have prepared earlier. I'm going to be potting on 4 or 5 lavender plants. And the finished result is this. I'm going to show you what soil I use and how I do it. So if you are in the process of planting, it's really good to watch this video and you won't be disappointed, because you will end up with beautiful, healthy lavender that won't die in the winter, that won't be sitting in wet. Lavender don't like to sit in wet, so they need to have good drainage, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay, so sit back, relax, and prepare yourself for a bumpy, fragrant lavender ride. Firstly, I am going to show you the soil I use. So here we have John Innes number 3, and this is a really good soil base to use for any plants that you're going to permanently keep in a pot for more than 1 year. So this should do for 5 to 6 years. So I'm going to use 60% John Innes number 3, and to umpen up the soil mixture I am going to use a peat-free multi-purpose compost. So I'll use 40% of that, and also I'm going to throw in a few handfuls of potting grit, horticultural potting grit, and that's going to umpen up the soil, aid really good drainage, and it's really just going to make the lavender a lot happier. They won't be sitting in any water whatsoever, and that's exactly what you want. And last but not least, broken crocks to put at the bottom of the pot where the drainage hole is, because if you don't cover the drainage hole, they can become really quite congested, and therefore it might hold water, and that's exactly what you don't want. So any broken crocks, any polystyrene, anything really to cover the hole, slightly cover it, but make sure the water can drain out. So there you go. If you are like me and you don't have the luxury of having a potting station or a potting shed, I just use the trusty old wheelbarrow. What I do is, if the plant pot is big enough, put the plant pot in, and to the right have all the soil mix that you need, and then you can gauge your measurements. Okay, there's 60% John Innes number 3. I'm about to put the multi-purpose compost in with some drainage grit, and then I will tip it all out, give it a good mix, and then what I'll do is I'll get the broken crock and then put it in the middle where the hole is, and then I'll just put all the soil in, and then I'll just plant the lavender. But I'll show you as I go about the process, I should say. Okay, so I have measured all of my ingredients, and what I need to do now is just get the pot, tip it upside down, and then this is where the wheelbarrow really comes in handy. Give all of the ingredients a real good mix. Think of it as like a cake mix. You know, you want everything to be nice and mixed in together. Oh yes, we are baking up something hot today. Lovely. Now all of that grit really really needs to be worked in. Brilliant. Okay, so now that's done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a crock, place it in there, just covering the hole so the water can get out, and then I'm going to put the soil in. As simple as that. Now just start to fill. About halfway. Get your pot of lavender. Just try and gauge the measurements. So you just want the level of the soil inside the pot to be about a few centimeters below the rim. Now it's important to do that because when you water your lavender, if you have it a bit lower, it means the water's not going to come over the side and the water's not going to permeate the plant. It's just going to come straight out of the pot. So if you leave a bit of space, you know it's going to stay and remain within the container. So it's important to do that. So until you have the right measurement, make sure everything's nice and flat when you're gauging the depth that you want to plant it. Take your time. There's no rush. That would be about perfect. Okay, so what you do now is just get the soil, go around the sides. Okay, so I've filled around the edges. Take the pot out, you've got your hole. Just tease the plant out of the pot. Hard to do with one hand whilst I'm filming. Okay, the roots, they're okay. I'm going to just slightly tease them so they can get out into the soil a bit easier and not just keep going round and round. Okay, that's good. That will also encourage more roots. Okay, so there you go. Just pop it in. Made to measure. And what we're going to do now is top dress it with some grit, just to keep the weeds out and to make it look more visually beautiful. And I'm going to do a bit of deadheading as well. There you go. Right, let's get the grit on. And that's the same grit I'm using that I used in the potting mix. And there you have it. One lavender ready to go in its new home. It will be happy in there for many years. It's going to give lots of beautiful fragrance. The bees are going to love it. And it's going to look gorgeous in the garden. Don't you agree, Ava? It's going to be beautiful. Only, how many more to do? 3 more to do. I better get cracking. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments section and I shall get back to you. I promise. See you very soon. And there we are. Here we have my lavender runway ready to go. Next year it's going to be a blaze with purple haze. Lots of beautiful bees flying about, enjoying themselves, and I shall be sat beside them, having a nice cup of tea and enjoying the view.